I swipe my badge at KVLN 92, 3 and step into the night shift silence like it's an old coat I've worn too many winters. My coffee's in a dented thermos, the Sharpie on my name fading under years of nervous thumb rubs. The air in the studio smells like warm plastic and dust baked into carpet, a smell you can't clean, only live with. Above me, half the ceiling tiles are stained with water rings shaped like countries no map maker ever claimed. I flip the red on AIR light and the room changes. The control board glows under my hands like a runway in the dark, sliders and knobs blinking in slow conversation, waiting for someone to guide them. Marcy's packing up to leave, slipping her purse strap over one shoulder with that brisk PTA mom precision. She smiles, perfect bangs not moving an inch. "Don't let the ghost hour get you," she says, the same line she said every night for 5 years. The one about that stretch between 2 and 3 a.m., when lonely callers whisper about angels or swear the highway lights spelled their name. I give her my usual answer. "Marcy, I already work here. How much worse can it get?" Outside the glass, Valley County is nothing but a dark bowl under a starless lid. The tower's beacon blinks its slow, patient Morse code. I cue Tom Petty, pour burnt coffee into a paper cup, and thumb through the community calendar. Pancake breakfast at the VFW Little League sign-ups, the craft fair that somehow features chainsaw art. All the ordinary stitches that hold a small town together. It's a night like 100 others. It has to be. Nights like this pay the rent. Nights like this don't change. I lean into the mic. Classic rock for the road, folks. The headphones settle against my ears. The hum underneath the music isn't new studios hum, but tonight it's lower, rounder. On my second sip of coffee, I realize the hum isn't fading, it's breathing. The advisory nobody cares about. The newsroom feed scrolls an alert, fog advisory, Valley County and surrounding areas. It's August, the air should be hot and loose, the kind of night that sticks to your skin. Fog feels like a punchline. Still, the phone line blinks. I hit it. "Evan," says the gravel voice of Deputy Hanks. "Tell folks to take it slow out by mile 9. River's throwing a blanket. You got it." I read a quick PSA tossed to Fleetwood Mac. The fog advisory banner hangs on the monitor like it wants me to keep looking. When I step into the hall, the building feels different. The vending machine hum is deeper. The fluorescent light at the far end stutters in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Through the back door's window pane, the parking lot is bleach white with fog, like milk poured across asphalt. I can't see the dumpster 20 feet away. I text my sister in Boise, "You getting any of this weird fog?" then delete it. She's asleep with 2 kids and a teacher's alarm. No point waking anyone for weather. Back in the chair. I push the slider and say the town's name like a promise. "Valley County, this is Evan with you till sunrise." The hum is still in my cans. I adjust the headphone jack. The hum adjusts with me like it's learning. Micro hook at 1:17 a.m. A second signal slips under the song, too clean to be interference, too calm to be an accident. The first rule slips through the air. The music ducks itself. My board levels don't move. A male voice, government sober. The cadence of a seatbelt PSA slides into the room like it owns it. "Attention Valley County residents. This is an emergency civil broadcast. Remain inside. Do not approach exterior doors or windows. If your phone rings after 1:30 a.m., do not answer. Await further instructions." The voice clicks off. Tom Petty returns mid-sentence. The log shows no interruption. I stare at the meters like they can explain. They can't. The phone rings line 2, the cheap one. I stare at it until it times out and blinks red like a held breath. "Cute Hanks," I say to no one, pretending it's a prank. I lean into the mic and fold my tone into something half joking, half parental. Okay, folks, we just got hit with an unscheduled test. Treat that as a reminder to keep those windows down. I freeze. Windows down. I meant closed. Why did I say down? I reset. Voice smooth. Windows closed. Keep it safe. Valley County. The tower beacon blips in the corner of my eye. On, off, steady as a metronome. But there's an afterimage now, a smear of light that lingers a fraction too long. It feels like the eye floaters you get when you stand up too fast. It feels like the room is a TV that someone didn't quite tune. Micro hook, the police scanner crackles, unknown lights over the river, possible crowd forming. Callers start saying the quiet part. Line 1, an old-timer named Walt who calls once a week to argue about the best barbecue joint. Son, he says, my wife's talking to somebody on the porch, says it's her brother. Bud died in '98. I keep my voice steady. Walt, do not open your door, stay inside. Turn off your porch light if you can do it safely. Keep, I almost say eyes up, wrong story. Keep calm. The scanner escalates. Units be advised. Individuals walking toward riverbank lights. Subjects not responding to commands. Another voice. Sarge, we need more on Elm. They're just standing. I pop into a song to buy time. Zeppelin, then call the station manager. It doesn't ring. It breathes. There's a low throb in the line, like a heartbeat pumped through a mattress. When I hang up, the studio clock reads 1:27 a.m. The room smells faintly of hot pennies. The hallway light skips another beat on, off, on, and the vending machine hum becomes a chord, not a note, a chord like an organ in a church underground. I cue a PSA about mental health resources because it feels like something a responsible station would do. Plays 2 seconds and dies. The board shows it's playing. The speakers show silence. My headphones murmur the hum. Micro hook. My cell phone lights up. Unknown caller. 1:30 a.m. on the dot. Evan, it's me. It's safe out here. I let it go to voicemail. The message populates with my own initials. Evan, new one. Against my better judgment, I press play. My voice, my exact tone when I've had 2 coffees and 3 hours of sleep fills my ear. Evan, it's me. It's safe out here. You need to see this. You won't believe it. Come on outside just for a second. I pull the phone away like it bit me. Another call slides in. Marissa, my sister. Relief cracks in my chest. I answer. Evan, the voice is my sister's shape, but the pitch is off by a quarter tone. If voices had fingerprints, this one would have a scar through it. We're outside the station. The kids want to see Uncle Ev. Can you? I hang up. My hand shakes. I switch the studio monitors off and trust only the headphones, like a diver relying on a thin hose of air. I hit the mic and give myself rules out loud because saying them makes them real. Valley County, if you're listening, do not answer calls from unfamiliar numbers. If you hear a familiar voice outside, do not respond. Do not open your doors. Move away from windows and reflective surfaces. Why reflective? I don't know until I look at the glass that separates me from the hallway and see a faint smear of light resolve into the shape of a person. The glass shows a man who looks like me standing in the hall. He lifts a hand, so do I, only I don't. Micro hook, the man in the glass knocks 3 taps in sync with my heartbeat. The fog learns the room. I pull the blackout curtain across the studio window. The knock becomes muffled and patient. Somewhere in the building, a door opens with a soft, ceremonial sigh. Air shifts. The studio temperature drops 3 degrees. The thermostat doesn't notice. On the request line, an 8-year-old whisper breathed, "Are the lights supposed to come inside your room?" My mom said it's fireworks, but there's no sound. What's your name? Grace. Grace, stay away from the window. Go to a hallway. If you can, put a blanket over the door crack. Okay, the lights are spelling my name on the wall. The scanner shouts in code I don't recognize. In the distance, through the building's skin, I hear something like sleigh bells dragged over gravel. The fog outside presses to the glass in a tide that doesn't recede. And for a second, I think I see fingers in it. Not fingers, choices. 10 wrong choices waiting on your porch. The on AIR light flickers. I leave it on because the red circle feels holy. Superstition becomes science when you're scared enough. Micro hook, the emergency tone cuts across every speaker I own, even the dead ones, and a voice I can't place says the second rule out loud. The rules. Emergency update. The signal is not a weather event. Do not look toward exterior lights. Avoid eye contact with reflected images. If you hear someone you love at your door, do not answer. Turn off televisions and cover mirrors. Help is inbound. A pause like a held breath, then. The entity uses mimicry to gain entry. It cannot enter without an invitation. The word entity lands like a coin in a jar that's already too full. I take inventory of reflective things in the studio, the glass. The dark face of the powered-off TV, the silver trim around the on-air box, the brushed metal of my travel mug. I drape an extra hoodie over the TV, tape a playlist poster over the glass where my not-self stood. Cars in the lot are just shapes in milk. The tower light blinks in a new pattern I don't recognize. On the console, the meters sway even with everything down, as if the room itself got louder. The phone rings again, DAD blinking on the caller ID. My father's been gone for 12 years. I don't pick up. I do what small-town radio is for. I keep talking. Folks, we're staying together through this. If you're scared, leave the radio on low. If you have to move, keep your eyes down. We're making a list, okay? 1. Don't answer the phone after 1:30. 2. Don't look at the lights. 3. Don't respond if someone outside sounds familiar. 4. Cover mirrors and screens. I run a finger down the board. My hand leaves a pale print like the fog reached through me. Micro hook, Marcy's text pings. I'm at the back door. Let me in. Her car key fob lies on the desk where she forgot it. Immaculate imitation. The backdoor camera feed, normally a jittering black and white, now shows a blank gray field like unprimed canvas. Something moves through it in strokes, as if the fog is learning to draw a person. The outline that settles there is almost Marcy, shoulders a touch too square, hair that doesn't swing, just decides to be in a different place. Her voice through the door is perfect except for the way it lands slightly early, like a badly dubbed movie. Ev, it's cold. I left my keys on the desk. The keys are here, cold metal under my fingers. I think about how many times we've propped that back door with a soundproofing wedge and smoked on the loading dock in winter coats, breath fat and visible. Familiar is a drug. It works faster than fear. Her knuckles tap the steel. She knows the knock I'd trust. She uses it. 3 quick, 2 slow. I keep my back to the hallway. If you're Marcy, tell me what you said about the ghost hour last Tuesday. Not a real test. She says it every night. Silence, then too bright. I never joke about that. She always jokes about that. Micro hook, the door handle turns halfway and stops, as if a hand that doesn't sweat can't get purchase. The studio breathes, the HVAC kicks in and the vents exhale a sound like sand pouring through a sieve. I cover the metal with moving blankets. The smell in the room shifts. Old pen is to rain on hot concrete to the inside of a freezer you haven't opened in months. A text from Deputy Hanks. Riverbank is bad. Don't look at the water. We're using sirens as herding. Then a second. If you hear your own voice outside, it's not you. I think of the voicemail and my stomach locks. I delete it without listening again. The delete sound is too moist, like it didn't go away so much as it sank. Lines 1-4 light simultaneously. I take line 3 to be chaotic. It's Grace again, the 8-year-old. The light stopped, she whispers. Now they're humming like the fridge does when it's about to die. Are you with your mom? She's in the bedroom talking to Aunt Jenny. Aunt Jenny lives in Florida. Grace, listen to me. Go to the bathroom, lock the door, turn the radio up a little so you can hear my voice. Don't look at the door crack. I'll bring my goldfish, she says, and I hear the tiny slosh of a bowl. Micro hook, every screen in the building off, unplugged lights with a single line of text, do not answer the signal. The tower sings. Outside, the tower's red wink becomes a cascading run of lights. I've never seen a descending scale played on aircraft beacons. The fog absorbs it, then pushes it back brighter. Reflex says look, the rule says don't. I squat behind the console and watch the vinyl floor. It has a seam that runs like a road to the door. I know every nick and coffee stain because this is where I've fixed my own car insurance and looked up second-hand couches and written apology emails to women I should have treated better. Ordinary life made me. Ordinary life might save me. A noise migrates through the building room to room the way a lawn sprinkler travels. It licks at the studio door and stalls there, puzzled by the soundproof seal. When it finds the gap at the hinge, the hum in my headphones sharpens into a tone that catches behind the eyes like a bright light does. I talk. Talking feels like keeping a lid on boiling water. Valley County, breathe with me, 4 counts in, 4 out. Make your space small, keep your eyes down, put on a song you know by heart and sing it under your breath. Micro hook, the emergency broadcast returns, but the voice is mine. This is Evan, and you can trust me. Attention, Valley County. My voice says in a flat line of warmth, it's Evan, and you can trust me. Step outside for verification. Emergency personnel will knock in this pattern. It knocks, my heartbeat knock 3 taps exactly, and I nearly laugh because fear and hysterics share a border. I turn every slider down, the voice continues anyway. It's not in the board, it's in the building's teeth. The real scanner breaks in choppy, stressed. County to all residents, do not exit homes. Do not respond to broadcast imposters. Military assistance inbound ETA 1 hour, stay silent. 1 hour is a lifetime compressed into 60 minutes. I can do 60 minutes for Grace, for Walt, for Marcy if the real one is anywhere to be found. I pull the studio couch into a bunker. Microphones make terrible walls, but I stack 3 like a fence. I text the on-call engineer, kill tower remotely. The 3 dots appear, then vanish, then appear. Finally, we don't control any of this right now. Micro hook, something scrapes the glass, a long, patient sound like a nail that never ends. Refusals and invitations. The scrape is hunting for a flaw. It moves corner to corner, pauses where the poster doesn't fully cover the glass. The studio is a bubble and the world outside is carbonated. Line 2 blinks. Walt, I take it. He sounds small, the way people sound when they're trying not to cry. She's on the porch, Evan. She says she forgot the chili recipe in the freezer and wants me to come get it. How would she know that? Because it knows everything you want to be true, I don't say. Walt, sit down, put your feet up on a chair. If you have a stupid sitcom laugh track on DVD, put it in, do not open the door. He breathes like a door pump. I'm not dumb, I know she's gone, I know that's not her. It's just the voice knows how she used to say my name. I'm here, I tell him, and I am. I'm in his living room and his kitchen and the ache in his chest because the radio puts me there. Stay with me. The scrape stops. The doorknob turns a fraction and stills, like a hunter's finger resting on a trigger but not yet committed. Micro hook, the hallway motion sensor light trips. No motion. The light stays on. The building is not empty. I know the station's night noises, the ice maker cough, the printer's phantom warm-up, the way heat expands the lobby's glass doors with soft pings. This isn't any of those. This is a careful weight-testing carpet. This is patience unstacking itself. I don't look out. I watch the floor where it meets the door and see a darkness gather, denser than shadow. It swells with each breath I take, as if it's learning me. My headphone hum picks up a second tone high enough to feel like pressure on molars. The tones beat against each other in a slow warble that makes the edges of things wiggle. Behind the board, I talk about my dad teaching me to drive a stick on the road out to mile 9 and the time the clutch died and we coasted into a church parking lot laughing. I make our town into a story we can live inside. The light in the hall burns steady. A hand I can't see brushes the base of the door. It hesitates right where your eye wants to go when someone says, "Don't look." Micro hook, my sister texts a photo, my nephew's on my porch, pajamas and gap-toothed smiles. Come outside, Uncle Ev. The timestamp is wrong by 6 hours in the future. Time bends if you let it. I know fakes. I've seen scams and filters and crude deep fakes. This isn't that. The porch light in the photo is burnt out like it's been for a week. There's a dying petunia basket I keep promising to toss. The detail is forensic. Ev, my sister, calls when I risk audio. She's crying in the way smart people cry quiet, like they're embarrassed to be human. They want me to tell you it's beautiful. They want you to look. The last word lands like it tripped. You're inside. Silence, then, we are now. The we sounds like static spoken out loud. The emergency tone cleaves the moment in two. Update. The entity uses visual capture. Eye contact results in conversion. Cover reflective surfaces. Do not look toward windows or screens. And the studio TV powered off, covered, gives off a faint blue that makes no physical sense. Light through fabric, through plastic, through reason. I throw another blanket over it. I drape my jacket over the photo of my nephews as if fabric can change reality. Micro hook, something begins whistling in the vent, 3 notes, a lullaby I haven't heard since I was 6. Childhood is a frequency. My mother whistled that exact tune when she sorted laundry and I sat on the linoleum with a plastic truck. If malicious code wanted to burrow under my ribs, it would pick this one. Valley County, I say, voice low, pick a song that belongs to you and hum it, loud enough to fill your head, quiet enough to not be invitation. The hiss in the vent turns to a harmony with itself, like 2 voices trying on the same throat. The studio's door pressure changes tiny, but real, like an elevator arriving on your floor. The scanner pops. County to all units. Military is staging east. Residents should shelter. Do not break silence unless in distress. Sirens bloom faintly somewhere out on Route 12, then fall away like they were embarrassed to be heard. From the back door, the Marcy that isn't says, "All sugar, Ev, they've gone. You can let me in now." The handle rotates with a grace that learns, then stops. Then tries the opposite direction because the thing is a good student. Micro hook, my studio lights die in a clean sweep, and when the emergency battery kicks in, something is inside the room with me, inside the circle. The emergency light is soft and directional, like a flashlight under a blanket. It throws a clean oval on the board and leaves the corners of the studio thick as felt. In the not light, a shape displaces air. You can't see it. You feel the room make room for it. My breath comes back to me wrong, like it went out, learned a dialect, and returned with an accent. I go small. I sit on the floor with my back to the rack unit, knees up, headphones on, mic on. We're okay, I say to the county and to myself. We're going to keep doing what we do. We'll count 1 to 4, 4 to 1. We'll hold the line. The thing steps soundless, but the boards in the floor give the secret away and stops by the couch I pulled as a bunker. The couch sighs like someone sat slowly and carefully, trying not to be impolite. From the hallway, a chorus of voices stacks. My sister, Deputy Hanks, Walt's wife from 98, Marcy, my mother. Grace whispering my name because it's the only word she has left. The chorus never overlaps wrong. That's how you know it's wrong. Micro hook, the emergency tone knives back through and shouts the magic. Do not acknowledge, help is here. Helicopter rotors thrash the fog. Real sirens sound different. You live in America long enough, you learn the grammar of sirens. Cop, fire, ambulance, each with a different stress. What cuts across now is military, big, indelicate. Too loud to fake, it slams through the fog and breaks it into pieces. The chorus outside falters like a choir who forgot their sheet music. The thing on my couch exhales not like lungs but like air leaving a space it had borrowed. It stands without sound. Knocks, real ones, rattle the back door in a pattern I don't recognize. The hall fills with boot noise, radios, the fast language of people who are trained to do what the rest of us pray about. Valley County residents, a bullhorn calls, "Stay where you are, we will come to you, do not open doors, do not remove coverings, do not look outside." The hum in my headphones drops half a step as if sulking. Micro hook, the studio door handle rotates a quarter turn the right way, and a voice with edges, human edges, says my name once like a question and a command. Goggles and orders. "Evan Reynolds," the voice asks. We're with the federal response. I keep my eyes on the floor and say, because I'm not a complete idiot, prove it. 3 questions, he says. What's the frequency of this station? What's the emergency pattern on our knocks? And what's on your mug? 92.3, I say. You didn't knock a pattern, I know, and the mug says not a morning person. Good, he says, amused like a man who finds things funny in dead cities. A fabric whisper, a toss, and something bumps my knee. Goggles. Put them on before you open your eyes. I do. The world goes blue in a way no human blue has ever been, edges hot and certain. The fog is red where it lingers, a smear like lipstick wiped with a thumb. The thing near the couch is a tall negative, jerking like a bad puppet. It flinches from the men in my doorway. Filters aren't perfect, the lead says. Don't stare at them, keep your eyes on the ground, we're moving you. Micro hook. In the hallway, a figure in the goggles looks like Marcy, but the soldier's hand flicks, no, out through the teeth. They stack around me in a chevron that turns the hallway into a pocket I can inhabit safely. Through the goggles, the world is an X-ray of itself, drywall bleaching to bone, exit signs like open mouths, that red fog pulling itself into corners like a kicked dog. The back door is a rectangle of not light, the color of things you shouldn't name. Outside, the lot is busy with armored shapes and men and women with the same goggles, moving in practiced lines. Far above, the helicopter lays down a mist that smells like ozone and the ocean ate a battery. The fog recoils as if it has nerves. They load me into the belly of a truck where people stare at nothing in strict, careful ways. A woman in a robe whispers a prayer to herself through lips cracked white. A teenage boy holds a cat with his goggles tilted just so the cat's yellow eyes don't own him. We roll, the tower's red bleeds backward as if it's being sucked into the bulb. A lurch and turn. A checkpoint, another turn, micro hook, we pass the river. Through the blue of the goggles, the water isn't water. The gym becomes a country. The high school gym is a country with its own laws. Cots in rows like language, volunteers who move in competent quiet, tables stacked with bottled water that glows dull blue in my goggles. A National Guard captain with a posture like a carpenter's square presses a packet into my hand. Do not answer the signal in letters big enough to read at a run. Keep the goggles on, a medic tells us. Bathroom breaks with a buddy. Do not sing anything you didn't start yourself. Don't repeat phrases you hear twice. Grace sits on a cot, clutching a cloudy bag with a goldfish inside when she sees me. She makes a careful wave with only her fingers because a medic told her to keep movement small. She mouths, "Thank you." By the bleachers, Deputy Hanks is slumped with his head in his hands. He looks up, goggles reflecting gym light, and gives me a chin lift. The gesture says we'll tally the dead tomorrow. The gesture says not today. Micro hook, the PA system clicks, and for a second the gym hears the wrong voice mine before the captain yanks a cord and kills power to the whole building. debrief, and things you can't return. In the candle-warm dark of a powerless gym, the captain explains in the careful words of people who don't intend to lie but can't tell the whole truth. It's not a weather system, she says. Think of it like signal ecology. It mimics, it propagates through attention. Eye contact completes a circuit. Someone asks if it's from space. Someone else says it came from the river. The captain says origin is less important than behavior. Rules keep you alive. The signal wants you to break them. On a nearby cot, the woman in the robe begins humming a lullaby. The medic is there in a blink. "Not that one," he says gently, and she clamps a hand over her mouth in horror because she remembered it wasn't hers. I sit on my cot, headphones around my neck because they feel like a talisman even without power, and think about all the invitations I've given my whole life. Doors I opened for loneliness, windows I looked through because curiosity said I was built to, voices I trusted because they wore familiar shoes. Micro hook, a soldier with a tablet makes a note, then looks straight ahead when the gym door knocks in a pattern no human taught. What we keep. Morning is a rumor behind the fog. Through the gym's high windows, the sky stains lighter like a bruise healing. The helicopter thrum is farther now, replaced by diesel engines and voices that build a scaffolding around fear. The captain unrolls a printed sheet and hands it to each of us in turn, post-incident protocol. It's a list that reads like a prayer. Don't answer calls at odd hours. Keep curtains closed at night. Don't keep mirrors uncovered in rooms where you sleep. If you hear a loved one at your door, say you love them and wait till sunrise. Marcy appears at the far end of the gym, hair frizzy from humidity, a blanket around her shoulders like graduation. Our eyes meet through goggles and hold, then soften, then both of us look at the scuffed floor like it's the safest thing either of us has ever seen. I borrow a Sharpie and write our station's call letters on a duct-taped sign. KVLN 92, 3 we stayed with you. I tape it crooked on the wall above our cluster of cots. People see it and sit a little straighter. When the PA comes back to life, it's the captain's voice, crisp and fully human. Valley County, we're okay, we adapt. I close my eyes and hear the hum like a memory you can put on a shelf and not touch. I open them and see my town invented again. Ordinary, blessed, fragile. We kept 3 rules and the night didn't own us. What we keep is what keeps us. If you made it with me all the way to the end of this story, you're officially one of the survivors. Now I want to hear from you. What would you have done if that signal came through your speakers? Would you have followed the rules or risked a look? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I read every single one. And if you want more nights like this, stories that keep you checking the windows twice, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next warning. Stay safe out there, keep your eyes down, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.